Hello City Builders, this is Hubbub, and welcome back to a new entry in this video journal series of Nouveau Springs on the Azure Gulf map in the Sunset Harbor DLC. The last video ended with a time lapse of zoning some of the last neighborhoods that I've been working on over on this end of the city. And the beginning of this video started with finishing up those neighborhoods, which we're looking at bird's eye view right now. In that time lapse, I'm plopping some buildings, adjusting streets, and then doing some beautification with trees and whatnot. So I just wanted to zoom in and let you look at the finished product. I'm really happy with some of these custom assets that I found in the workshop. 5 households in this cool looking residential building, and then there's another one over here. These ones I'm really enjoying as well. Nice courtyard in the middle of that building, sunning space on the roof. And then there's another one which is adding some capacity to the neighborhood. Where did I drop it? It's over here. I've plopped it a couple times. This one's this villa that can hold up to 12 households. So it's a nice, convenient use of a 4x4 space in this low density suburb that I've been developing now for the last couple episodes. So really kind of happy with how these turned out. I did a little bit of mixing and matching of tree species. There are some neighborhoods that have been totally deciduous, and those would be over here in the old town. And then there are other neighborhoods that have been totally pine needle trees, and the most obvious one of that is right here. These neighborhoods I mixed and matched a little bit. I started with the pine and then added in deciduous trees to kind of give a little bit more variety of color as we move through these neighborhoods. Services have been allocated, so we're all in good shape. There will be, the next video, I'm definitely going to do some optimization of mass transit. As I move through the city and I do work in various parts, I could see that there are some stations where there are huge numbers of people built up, and I haven't adjusted vehicles on routes to optimize mass transit. So that'll be the next video, is working on traffic. Today, what I want to work on is 2 parks, and I may do one on camera and the other off camera. This is one of those parks. I think I talked in a recent video about this grand scheme of having a bike/pedestrian trail that starts on this end of the city, travels through the Maze Island Park, and then comes over, navigates up through these neighborhoods, and then eventually finishes over here. So these trails are passing through these park areas, and they're pretty bleak right now. I haven't quite decided what I want to do with this one yet, but I'm really feeling like this one is going to be more of a garden. So the website mymodernmet.com gave me some interesting ideas. I found this article titled 10 Dazzling Gardens Around the World that I looked at while I was working on this or doing the background research. The 2 gardens in the top right and the bottom left, Butchart Gardens in England and Keukenhof Lies in the Netherlands, are 2 that I think are almost outside my capacity because of the way that they push all of the colors and different plants together. And I haven't found all of the assets on the workshop, I think, to do this really well. The colors are so fully saturated. I haven't found good assets yet for that. But then the top left in Versailles and the bottom left, a tropical public garden in Thailand, both are really interesting to me in the way that they use plants to frame spaces. So I guess I'm thinking more geometrically than in terms of color, which I'm not as well schooled in. And I need to do some more looking on the workshop to find good assets with heavy color saturation to do the kind of work you see in the top right and the bottom left. We'll see how this turns out in the coming build. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is I have for a while wanted to start putting in monuments. And I'm thinking, since I'm thinking of this more as a garden than a park, that the Eden project might actually be perfect for this space. I'm not 100%. Well, I'm not completely sure about that because the Eden project could have some impact on population, but I'll just have to deal with that. I'm thinking, since I'm saying this is a garden, the Eden, and this is a visible spot. It won't be hidden. It's it's towards the back of the city as it relates to the Gulf here, but from a visual perspective, it'll be easy to spot if I find a way to drop the Eden project in here. So there's a couple other buildings I need to put in before I can do that. One is the services building, which I don't think I've dropped yet. It's services of services offices. So, and this building makes me nervous because it's so dang big. It's kind of blocky, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that this is the part of town that it really belongs. But then again, I was talking about trying to taper this skyline. It might work. It's just got a huge footprint, so I might have to do some engineering of streets in here to get this in. It also might work over here because it'll be easy for me to take out a couple of these cross streets. So let me fix that. I just have to decide if it really fits over here. See, I don't think this is where I want it because this is meant to be more of a tourist location with the bungalows down on that water's edge, feeding up into the. Now these are vanilla buildings, but these are all tourist hotels. So it's the right complexion for this, for the feel of what I wanted to do here. So I think that services of services office is going to have to come over here somewhere. And so let's just see how it looks. And I don't want to wipe out some of these buildings that have leveled up either. And I've got lots of bike paths in here too. So let's just see what happens. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks good like that. How do I want to do this? And that was a one-way street. Let's see. Now, one potential problem that this will create is these intersections too close to each other. So let's see what we can do to mitigate that before we even click play. We're going to say you're going to yield. No need for yielding there. Drive through, drive through, drive through, drive through. I think nobody walks across that intersection. Drive through. Okay. Now I can move my bus routes back. Whoops. Bus routes. Okay, so this stop comes back here. And where is that stop? It was here somewhere. Where'd that stop go? There it is. Oh, this is going to be fun. So let's move that up here. Get it out of the way. There we go. Move that stop there. Although that's a longer bus. See how that works. And then this can come back to where it was. Okay, so we have that building placed. Oh, and we have a bike path through. Let's see. We can zone here. I don't want that zoned. Okay, so we're going to drop some trees in here then real quick. Yeah, this might end up being an interesting video. I haven't done much past 20 minutes. And this is one of those parts of town where I was doing mostly deciduous trees, so we're sticking with the theme. And some more color. And some bushes along the paths. And that'll be, oh wait, now did I put, let's see, where do I have commercial zoned? Yeah, right there. Okay, so I don't need those trees there. Oh, wait a second. Okay, yep, so let's remove those. And we are auto-saving again. Okay, so let's hit play and see what happens. Now, how much does this building cost me a week? Oh, wow, only 320 bucks. That's not bad. I mean, 320 simoleons. That's it's a nice place for that, I think. It does add a little bit of a fade out of the skyline. And then whatever builds in here will complement it, I think. So that works. Then the other building I need to get in is, and here's what I'm thinking. To get the Eden project in, I need to add the business park. And honestly, I think the business park will be a nice frame. Although it may not. The business park has to go on a street. But the business park, if I were to bring a street, see what might be interesting here is there's going to be some streets that I run through here, and then there's going to be park paths. Because I'm thinking that if I were to bring like a promenade right along there perpendicular, then this can go right there alongside the highway. Visually from the air it would look nice. I don't know about, not so sure if you're a driver going down in that tunnel. But then I could figure out how to frame the Eden project, and I don't even know how big the Eden project is. It's not opened up yet. It 13 by 12, so it's not that big. Business park is 16 by 8. Okay. So next step then in this park is going to be to demolish what's already there. So this is going to have an impact on transit for people, but we gotta suck it up and do this. All right. And I don't know if that's big enough for if that will end up being big enough for the Eden project or not. But we will find out. So I bring this like this. Now, I'm probably not... No, wow, I can get really close with this. So for now, I'm just going to pull this out. And I'm going to leave it and I want to... I've been having the worst time with grabbing multiple nodes lately in this app, in this mod. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now, if I can put the business park right here so that it's centered. I don't think that's a bad place for it. It's nice public. Oh, yeah, I want to try to get some public art in here, too. Now, I bet you I could place the Eden Project right now. Although I don't know that I want to just yet. Now, oh, yes, it'll be perfect over here. So I think what I want to do is just bring now. Do I want to make a bridge across here? Do I need to? No, I don't. Or did it anyways? Okay, now, what's going to happen with the Eden Project is it's going to take away all pollution in the city except noise pollution. Now, the interesting conundrum here is that 90 degrees? Yes. Oh, but that's not 90. Well, son of a gun. Okay, I need to fix that. That's not exactly 90 degrees. No. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Gonna have to eyeball this. That looks a little bit better. And then the same trick that we pulled just a couple minutes ago. Do I have anarchy on? I don't have anarchy on. That's interesting. So when you move something and move it, trees become an issue. Okay, now we could put this back there. And I don't have any water in here. It should have electricity, though. It should be close enough. Wow, not enough electricity. So let's grab... I think a park info booth would be perfect. If you're visiting a city, the park info booth, or a cafe, restrooms. I mean, the reality is both of these are going to work. So let's grab these trees here too. Whoops, what happened? So the reality is that if you come into a national park, you're going to have restrooms. You're going to have a cafe somewhere, although it might not be right next. But you're definitely going to have an info booth. Now, is this perfectly centered? No, it is not. Very close, though. So we're going to slide these to the right just a tad. I can use those trees to line things up. A little bit further. Yep. Okay. Perfecto. All right. So we have our arch. Now we can fix the road. Let's hope that it lets me go right there. Good. Okay. So we're going to bring this as far down as I can bring it. I don't know that I want to... Oh, let's see if I can level those out too. Now, this may mess everything up. Let's see. I don't know how important this really... Oh, this is not going to work the way I'm trying to do it. Let's do it like this. Oh, line up. Oh, now how did I end up without a bridge? Okay, I need to fix that. There really should be a footbridge there. Okay. Perfect. So the water can flow through again. All right, now the trick with the Eden project is it's going to remove all pollution. So it's going to have an effect on land values and it's going to have an effect on health, except for noise pollution. So as soon as I drop the Eden project, I'm going to see an increase in land values across the city. I'm going to see an increase in population. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So I may hold off on the space. So let me see, though, if I know it'll fit here. Question is, do I want it there? Do I want it here? I almost think it works better. No, yeah, I think it works better here because here it blocks the view of that bridge. So we've got our city arch in. We're going to drop the Eden project. I've just saved the game because I know there's going to be some impact. I don't know what kind of impact because overall my ground pollution is pretty manageable in this city. But my understanding is that any buildings, and if we look at my budget, we can see most of my buildings are leveled up. But there may be some buildings that are going to level up here. So I expect I'll have an increase in population. I don't know if you have an increase in health. You should have an increase in health if you're not dealing, but my health care has been pretty good. Average lifespan 85 years, child care. So I don't actually know what impact this is going to have. Even if I have a skyrocketing population, you could see my ridiculous capacity for death care. So, and traffic flow is pretty good, 84%. I haven't seen 85% in a while, but 84% I'm happy with. So I'm going to drop this, and I'm going to keep working on the gardens. What I know best is wetlands, so I may end up coming in here and dropping a lot of wetland stuff and then come back and do other stuff. I may also add some gazebos because I want to see if I can get electricity flowing through, although I don't have to, but we could have a cafe in here. We could have, I don't know if a chessboard's really right for this park, but we'll see. So I've saved. Let's drop this baby. It's not perfect. Oh, it's going to need electricity too, I bet. Is it going to need electricity? This is operating normally. It's not going to be operating normally for very long. Let me just drop a couple gazebos. And that'll square that away until I figure out exactly what I want to do with the rest of this. Because they should bring electricity over. Indeed they do. And I have no clue how this effect is going to impact over time. Not enough water. Oh, I need to get water in there. Oops. Hey, there we go. Now that looks pretty cool. I think that's the perfect place for that. It's away from the coast, but you don't have to have... I've got other stuff planned for the coast. It's really a nice prominent spot. And now I have to figure out what to do with the rest of the vegetation so that it's complementary. But this is going to bring in a lot of tourists. I don't know if it'll bring a lot of tourists. I don't know how many tourists will bring in. Space elevator is next. What's going to happen is there are some spaces emerging, right? So there's this space right here. There's this space right here, this space right here, this space right here, this space right here. So there's going to be, I need to put some public sculptures in. Work in some public sculptures. And then build gardens around them. Already got that one. What about this one? This one might be a nice one. Where does... See, this one might work. Right here? I don't know. Welcome back, City Builders. That was only a 3-minute time lapse on screen, but it represented about 5 hours worth of actual work. Some of that work involved laying in vegetation for these wetlands, and ironically, the water's moving a little bit faster than it was at the beginning of the build, but I am not going to worry about that too much. I haven't gone heavy on reeds and lilies, so I think the vegetation is appropriate to the speed of the water. And then moving in some public sculptures, public art, and I'll put links to those assets in the video description as well. And then finally doing the landscaping around these. I still feel like I'm a little bit new. I did do some background research on color theory, very, 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 very minimal color theory, but I think I'm doing all right in my choices. Obviously, comments and feedback is welcome. One thing that may be missing, a couple of the garden examples, I think the one from Britain and the one from the Netherlands showed really thick usage of flora to create these wonderful color palettes, and I haven't done much of that. So I might off camera come back and see if there are places to fit in some lush combination, like around these bushes might be nice place for lush combinations of different color flora, which would be really cool. So, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. Let's just take a little run through so you can see. We have grasses, we have the gum trees, and I think these are, I forget if these are ash, but then we have willow in here as well, and then down close we have grass along the river. And I'm using some palmas grass for the color here, but I'm happy with how this has turned out. Also got some rocks in there to break up the green. Let's see, am I missing anything? I've tried to do a little bit of variety with the landscaping, so not every presentation is exactly the same. Some of them are more geometric, some of them less so, different color combinations. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm both happy with it and nervous as to how viewers might respond, but I think it's coming out pretty well. The overall income right now is $2,200. It's really that the net would be what, $1,700 revenue for Sims that are passing through. So what's kind of fascinating here with the Eden project is I think that my health levels were already so well advanced and my pollution was so well under control that ironically, or ground pollution at least, ironically, the Eden project hasn't really impacted the city that much. We can look at my building types. We can see that most of my buildings have finished leveling up, although not all. It doesn't look like there's an appreciable difference on office buildings. So I do see a little bit of movement, but there's obviously some confounding factors in leveling up of buildings. So overall, this was, I was relieved because I've watched some videos on YouTube where people have put in these projects and they felt like it wrecked their city because there were so many issues in their city to begin with that they had to do some serious modifications of their city after they put in these monuments. So we'll see how I fare with the space elevator and with the medical center. For now, though, the Eden project hasn't really had that much of an appreciable impact. It looks like population is steadily above 114, but I'm not sure what year we're in I think we have a few more years to add to this chart, but we haven't moved too much past where we were in terms of population growth either. And that brings us to the end of this video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching and sticking with it. It was a little bit longer than my usual videos. I had a lot of fun with this build. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you back for the next video. Please subscribe or like, and this is Hubbub signing off.